This is Channel 2 News, coverage you can count on.
We can still have weeks of freezes, so you want to be careful with letting your lawn think it's spring.
Yeah, it sure seems early to be thinking about yard work, but experts say the different weather we're having means you should have to think differently about your landscaping too. All in our Channel 2 News Big Story at 5:30. It was a cold start, but another sunny day here in northern Nevada. It felt a little more like spring than February.
Yep.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Kristen Remington.
I'm Wendy DeMonte. Thanks so much for being with us today. Even though we did have a cold start, like you said, this weather has been so warm, so dry, our lawns just don't know what to do. I mean, they're kind of saying, should I grow or what? Well, Erin Breen went out and talked to some of the experts today to figure out what we all do in our yards. Erin, what do you think?
Well, Wendy, Kristen, you know, it does seem pretty obvious that if the lawns are trying to turn green and the trees are trying so hard to bud that we should be watering them, right? But the experts say it's still too soon to do that because with our cold temperatures overnight, we still could see some freezing. Here's another look at some of their other do's and don'ts. This crew is ready to wage war on weeds. And they're starting ahead of schedule again this year.
We try to help the plants in whatever stage they decide they're in.
Landscapers can't just go by the calendar anymore. It may only be February, but it's time for the pre-emergence in non-turf areas.
So your planter beds, a lot of folks have rocks and DG areas in their yard. You want to do a very generous application of your pre-emergent, which is going to stop the weeds from even germinating.
Trees need water, especially conifers and evergreens.
They've got little feeder roots and they need desperately to have enough water. So maybe when it's warm like it is in the middle of the day now, go up, turn your system on, charge it up, get your trees watered, and then turn it off in a couple weeks, maybe do the same thing again. And that's going to help your trees really last through the summer.
But pruning is kind of iffy right now.
Typically, we would still be doing some winter pruning on your trees, but right now it's too hot. We don't recommend doing it too much on your own. Get an arborist to kind of tell you where to chop because you could damage a tree right now.
And when it comes to lawns, it's great to aerate them about now.
Essentially, it would allow more fertilizer deeper into the roots as well. So very, very good for your turf.
Just remember, for now, that turf is still dormant, even if it's trying to turn green.
Definitely don't try to force it. Don't fertilize. Don't mow. Just kind of let your garden do what it does.
Now, one other thing, if you do use those pre-emergents, they say that those chemicals are safe for animals and for people. But they also say it's a pretty good idea to keep your animals off the grass for about 24 hours afterward just to be safe. Covering the big story, Erin Breen, Channel 2 News.